Mr. President, many of us on both sides of the aisle from all parts of the country have been working very hard for the last year, and some of us even longer than that, to try to present good, solid information to the Senate and to Congress about how important the National Flood Insurance Program is in many different dimensions. This is not about millionaires. It's about the middle class. It's about the middle class who need affordable insurance so that they can live where they need to work. People live near the water to harvest seafood, to produce domestic energy, to manufacture and transport the goods necessary to keep this economy moving. If you shut down these communities because of a capricious law like this that was not well thought through, that was not fully debated the way that it should have throughout this Congress, you're jeopardizing not only the dreams of these particular homeowners and business owners, but you're going to hear this from me, you're jeopardizing the future of the economy in the United States. I have on my website, and I've encouraged senators to have My Home, My Story. There are literally hundreds every day that come into my office with a picture of the house and their individual stories. And I think it's worth reading one or two into this record just briefly. This is from the New Orleans area, where there are 303,000 policies. This particular is from Jefferson Parish, which has the most insurance policies, which is the suburb of New Orleans, than any parish in our state. Richard of Metairie writes, "My wife and I purchased this as our first and so far only house in the fall of 1997. We put down roots, befriended our neighbors, hosted family gatherings, celebrated the birth of our daughter. If the rate increases we're hearing about go forward, you will have succeeded in doing what Katrina didn't, break the back of Southeast Louisiana. Homes will be unsellable, businesses will be shut, banks will fail from the doubtless tens of thousands of defaults that will occur as people simply walk away from their now worthless homes." I don't know how clearer we could be, and this is not an exaggeration. The data shows it. The coalition has proved it. We are building tremendous support, and I can only hope that we vote as soon as possible within the first week of coming back. Wendy of Metairie, another person from Jefferson Parish, "I built my house 3 feet above the required flood elevation in 1998. Now, the elimination of the grandfather clause, I will be paying $28,000 a year for flood insurance. Why should we be penalized for building our houses in compliance with the law?" Now, that is a very good question. And I don't have an answer for her other than to say, we hear you, and we're changing the law. It was poorly designed, and it can be fixed, and it should be fixed. Ken writes, "My wife and I live on Social Security and a small annuity from my work. We have lived in this house for 37 years. All of our bills take almost all of the income. We constantly look at our finances to see if there's anything we can cut or reduce. Any increase in flood insurance may be an increase to my house note beyond our capacity to pay for it." Brian of Baton Rouge, "My house was built in 1969, before there were flood maps. I accepted a job in Tennessee, thought my house would sell. I have a neighbor that wants to buy my house. They have withdrawn their offer since they found out how much flood insurance will be. Flood insurance rates hike on the single property affects 3 families: my family, the family I want to buy from, and the family that wants to build my house." I want to underscore this, and I'm going to end with this. I want people to get a picture of the 5 million people caught in this web and think, well, we have a lot of people in America. We have 350 million. This is 5 million, let's say 2 per house, that's only 10 million. This is a very small number compared to 350. Maybe we don't need to pay attention to those 10 million people. But every home has a buyer and a seller, and most every home has a bank. Most every home has a worker or 2, or sometimes 3 in that house. It's affecting so many businesses. If this gentleman can't get his finances straight, he will leave his job in Tennessee. The business in Tennessee, that's not anywhere near an ocean, will be affected by that. Leader Reid has agreed to call this bill up for a vote, for a cloture vote, in which we have accepted the 60-vote threshold. We believe we have actually more than 60 votes. We just need to get it up when we come back in early January.